All right, guys, welcome back, and hope you guys had success yesterday with the modeling. Today, we're going to be talking about solving the two-steps equations, and I went into a little bit of this on yesterday, but let's get into this. So, solving one-step equations. Remember, guys, we talked about using the inverse operation whenever we have one-step equations. So, if we're looking at this, the inverse of addition would be subtraction. So, we subtracted 9 from both sides. That gave me a 0 pair right here. And we're left with 23 minus 9, giving us z is 14. And of course, we can check our solution. For this one, we basically did the multiplicative inverse, which is instead of we have 3 times m, we multiply both sides by 1/3. That 1/3 canceled out 3, right? And then we had 18 times 1/3, which is basically the same thing as dividing by 3. Okay, so 18 divided by 3. Remember, anytime you multiply by a fraction in the numerator is 1, is the same as dividing, right? 18 divided by 3, or 18 times 1/3, is 6. Okay, keeping it moving. How do you solve something like this? Very simple. Let's quickly review the order of operations. We got parentheses, PEMDAS, parentheses, other grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication, division, working from left to right. Then you have addition and subtraction working from left to right. So if you had this expression, 18 plus 5 times 2, simplify parentheses. There's no parentheses. Exponents, there's no exponents. Multiplication, yes. 5 times 2, that gives you 10. Now we got 18 plus 10, and that is 28. Just quick review. So I want you guys to take some time and work these examples here. Pause the video and work it. So if we're going to work this, I'm just going to work this, try to work this quickly for you. Parentheses, so here's your parentheses. You got 3 times 5. It's going to be 8. And then we have times, that'll be 20 plus 4, and that's 36 divided by. Okay, I know that that's a little scraggly, but we'll work with it. Okay, my parentheses is gone. Now I'm working left to right. Exponents, there are no exponents. Division. 36 divided by 4 is 9. And then we got plus 20 times 8. 20 times 8 is 160, because now we're still working left to right. We can't do this because that's addition. Multiplication, 20 times 8, we said that's 160 plus 9, making our answer 169. Okay, let's take this guy right here. I'm actually going to stop there. I'm not even going to work this second problem. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, going back to our PowerPoint. I didn't work that second example. Looking at this, using inverse operation. Are there parentheses? No, there's not any parentheses. There's no exponents here, but there's subtraction that needs to take place. So we got the plus 7. We want to get rid of that by subtracting 7 on both sides. That's going to give you 23 minus 7, which is 16. Okay, now we have to get rid of this 2, isolating the variable. We want to do inverse operations. That's times 1/2 times 1/2. 16 times 1/2 is the same as 16 divided by 2. That gives you g is 8. Okay, same scenario here. The goal is to isolate the variable. How are we going to isolate that variable? We're going to subtract by 5. That gives us a 0 pair here. You have a negative 13 minus 5. That's going to give you 18, or negative 13 plus a negative 5. That's giving you a negative 18. And then we have negative 18 equals 9m. we're going to divide both sides by 9 or multiply both sides by 9/1 is what we see here. See how we're multiplying both sides by 9/1? That's the same as dividing by 9. And we have 1/9 times 18, or negative 18 divided by 9, giving you a solution of -2. I do want to focus in on something really quick, guys. I don't want anybody to be confused. The way that this is structured, we're using inverse operation, basically multiplying by 1/9 here. But this is also the same as dividing both sides by 9, and that's why you guys keep hearing me say that. You may have heard your teachers mention that to you. So what I want you guys to do, it's a little bit of practice time. I want you guys to pause the video, and I want you to practice this problem. So looking at this problem, as you can see, the first step is we're adding 7 to both sides. That gives us a 0 pair right here. We bring down the -2y, or the -2y. You end up with 3 plus 7. 3 plus 7 gives you 10. You're going to, I like to just say simply, this is multiplying by y, so I simply say we're going to divide by 2 to cancel out, or you can multiply that by 1/2. It's the same thing. In any case, that multiplying by a -1/2 cancels out that 2, or that -2, and you're left with over here 10 times a -1/2, and the answer is -5. All right, so let's get into our practice problems. I want you guys to pause the video, and I want you guys to try this problem. Pause the video, work it out. All right, I hope that you pause the video. So what we're going to end up with here is, let's see if I can do this to make it a little bit neater. We're basically going to end up with the -5 here. And you will basically subtract 5 on both sides. Okay? This gives me my 0 pair, right? And then you're left with basically 5 minus 13. And you basically have your 4x equals 5 minus 13 gives you, yeah, that's correct, 8. Now at this point, the structure and the way that it's said is we're going to multiply by 1/4. Multiplying both sides by 1/4. I like to say we're just going to divide both sides by 4, but in any case, you're canceling out the 4, and you basically have 8 times 1/4, which is 8/4, which is 2. So whether you divide by 4, divide both sides by 4, which is what I say do, and which is what I taught my students, and you get 8 divided by 4 gives you 2, or you multiply by 1/4, it's still the same solution. Let's try the next problem. I want you guys to pause the video, and I want you to work this one out. Pause the video. Pause the video. All right, I hope you guys pause the video. I'm going to just work this out instead of typing it in. It's a little sloppy, but it's a little bit quicker. What are we going to do? Well, you have a +8 here, right? So I'm going to do a -8 on both sides. That gives me a 0 pair. You got a -5b. Y'all know what that is. And that's going to give you a -10. Perhaps I should have made that look more like a b. I'll do a capital B. We're going to now divide both sides by 5, or multiply both sides by 1/5. Okay? That cancels out the 5. You're left with b by itself. You got a -10 times 1/5. That's going to give you 10/5, right? 10 over 5 reduces to a negative 2. Therefore, b is equal to negative 2. Next problem. If you guys wanted to check that, write that, jot that work down, there it is. But I'm getting ready to move on to the next problem. All right. Pause the video, work it out. I hope you guys paused the video and worked it out. That was my little drum beat saying I'm finna move on. All right, so here we have a plus 9. Inverse operation said we're going to do minus 9 on both sides. Uh-oh, didn't mean to move my screen. Let's move my screen over. Minus 9 on both sides. All right. So you have a positive 3 and you got plus a negative 9. 3 plus a negative 9, or 3 minus 9 gives you a negative 6. And then you have negative 3c. We're going to use inverse operations, and that's basically multiplying both sides by a negative 1/3, or dividing both sides by 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this math over here. You have 6 times a negative 1/3. That's basically 6 over 3, or negative 3, which is 2. Therefore, your solution is C equals negative 2. This is simple stuff, guys. Real simple stuff, especially at this level. One more really quick. I don't like the way this format is because it's not giving me a lot of time to do my work over here. But you have this is a positive 1. To get rid of it, we're going to subtract 1, minus 1. You end up with 12, because that's 13 minus 1 equals 12, equals 4. Okay? All right, so you're going to multiply both sides by 1/4, or divide both sides by 4. Remember, that's the same thing. If you guys got any questions about that, please let me know. Please let me know. You basically end up with 12 divided by 4, which is 3, is a solution for K. Guys, this is really simple stuff. This is another simple lesson. If you guys view this video and you check out the assignment, you guys should ace that. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you guys got any questions, hit me in the Google Classroom, and I'll catch you guys on the next lesson. Peace.